What's good? What's good? What's good? This is Out of Order Hour. I'm DJ Cuz Yo. I'm over here at the Stoner Big Talk Lounge, and I'm here with my co-host Dale Drew.
So
He's from In the Loop Radio. If you don't know, now you know. Check him out at In the Loop Radio. We got a nice show for you. We got a
so
nice
in the loop
panel.
radio, we was putting on.
Let him know. Let him know. Dale, let him know.
No, I'm just letting them know that in the loop radio, we was definitely a channel putting on for people from Long Island. Anyone from Long Island who was a rapper, actually had a smaller business, they could come on and we gave you guys a shine. So you can go onto you on the YouTube channel and check out a lot of those in the back page. Thank you again, George.
Facts, facts. We're gonna be bringing this to you hopefully every 2 weeks. You will see us out of order hour coming to every stream yard you can think of. All right. So we're going to be bringing up our panel so we can get it started, and we're going to have some questions. Dean, what's good, my brother?
I am Dean, baby.
Christina, how you doing, young lady?
What's up, Christina Comedy Cougar in the building?
Natalie, what up?
Hey, what's going on?
All right. Los.
What's going on,
good,
baby? Los, man. The real Puff Daddy, man. At Barry Gang 1 on Instagram, Twitter, all that. Check us out, man. Season 5. What up?
Right.
I don't feel like turning all the way around, but y'all get it.
Young Bella, how you doing, young lady?
Hey,
What's good?
tired, but I'm here.
That's good. That's good. Wellness check for everyone. How's everyone doing? Start with Dean.
Listen, moving and grooving, grooving and moving, baby. I can't call it.
I like that. I like that. How about you, Los?
Listen, man. Everyday copacetic, probably.
Salute. Natalie?
I'm high as shit. So we're good.
I'm gonna be there with you soon. I like that. Christine?
I'm doing amazing. I'm here in the bakery, but I'm not baked like everybody else. We got the bakery business in the building, and of course, the Comedy Cougar, of course, and all funny TMZs last week. I'm everywhere right now.
Facts. Let them know. Let them know you went viral. Let them know.
TMZ without starting a scandal.
That's right. Let them know.
Like that.
Sure. Drew, how you feeling? Wellness check.
Nah, I'm great, man. You already know. Every week, every day I wake up, man, I feel much better. So it's a beautiful thing.
That's great. That's great. Young Bella, how you doing, young lady? How you feeling? Your wellness check. I know you said you was tired.
I'm tired, but I'm great. I mean, today I just bought my place, so I can't even complain.
Congratulations.
I bought a new car. Yeah, thank you. Started a new job, and I took a break from the industry for my mental health because I couldn't do it. So I'm on a break. I'm in Florida. I'm enjoying life, and it's nice and 80 degrees, so I can't complain.
Okay.
We love that for you.
Well, I'm doing well, as you can see. I got my little cup, got a little something to burn, so my wellness check is great. Just to let y'all know. But we're gonna start it off. We're gonna let the young gentleman, my co-host, ask the first question.
All right. Yes. All right. So we're gonna get into a couple things. So I heard in the background that everyone was speaking about Zaya Wade, and it's a hot topic. So we're gonna get you guys discussion on that. But first, we want to have it in a structured manner. I want to ask you guys a couple of things. The first question we have to get first is about definitions. All right. Now, I went on Google and I had to ask them what's the definition of a transgender. And I'm going to read it to you guys. And I want to ask you if you guys see anything funny about this definition or if you agree with it 100% correctly. All right. So transgender is a term used to describe individuals whose gender identity, now keep this in mind, whose gender identity, which is their internal sense of being male, female, a blend of both or neither, does not match the sex that they were assigned at birth. Now, it's a lot to unpack with that definition. I want to go around the room and get your guys' opinions on that. We'll start with you, George. What do you believe about that?
Wow. I might need you to read that again. I'm not gonna lie, because that was kind of
slow it down. So I'm gonna put it in layman's terms.
It was messing me up a little bit.
My bad. I'm gonna put it in layman's terms. they're saying that a person's gender identity, which they're defining as a sense of your internal self, does not match the gender that you were assigned at birth.
Wow.
You get that?
Yeah, I get you on that. That's the definition.
Yeah.
And that was Google.
That's the definition.
That's the definition.
Wow.
Yes, sir. That's the dictionary definition.
I don't know. I don't know if that's considered okay. I kind of find something wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? As far as my opinion, for you to just claim just because of what you think, you know what I'm saying, that you can declare as, you know, your gender. I think you're just born with it, what you're born with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can actually change it because of how you feel, but I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know if I made that clear enough.
What do you believe about that, Dean?
Who cares?
Right.
To be honest with you, honestly, if we're gonna be completely upfront, I don't give a fuck. Call yourself whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. Do whatever the fuck you want. I know what would be taught in my household, and I know how I'm gonna approach things. You know what I mean? If I have kids, I know how my household, you know, holds things, and the way we hold things is we'll respect you in the street as everyone wants to be respected, but everyone has their values and morals. So, you know, do what you do. You know what I mean? As an adult.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
I like that last part.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. I mean, I just think the definition is a little long-winded and not really. It's like it takes too long to get to the point. You know what I mean? It's like unnecessary words for me. But yeah, to Dean's point, like, yeah, who cares?
I feel like the definition makes sense with what a transgender person is. I feel like it's like pretty blatant. Like it's how the person feels inside. So that's like, I feel like it's pretty like straightforward definition. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it.
All right. So we'll definitely proceed. So now everyone knows that Zaya Wade was
you didn't get everybody.
Dwayne Wade.
You didn't get everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Comedy Cougar. I'm sorry.
You're still missing two more people.
I'm trying to wait my turn because you know me.
Right.
I'm that person that jumps in like double dutch, but I'm trying to be good. So like Natalie said, I agree with the definition because you can't. So people, if they're saying it's not what you feel, it's not a feeling. It's we're born assigned to sex, right? And we have different attractions. Some of us may not be attracted or have the same desire to be with the opposite sex.
Right.
So I can't determine. I know that I tried. I swang both ways for a hot second. So like my attraction, and that's why I feel I could speak to it with a little bit of a clear understanding that who you are attracted to is who you're attracted to. And I guess some people feel like they're not necessarily a he or a she, and they're fluid. So like whoever I think the definition is clear cut. It makes sense to me. And however you want to live the way you live. No one's here to judge. I'm not here to judge anybody. I have all the colors of the rainbow in my family and all the flavors of the rainbow in my family. So.
Right.
But on that note of what you said, I'm sorry, brother. I'm not going to cut you off. I just want to say on that note, as far as the choice of, like you said, of what they're attracted to. As far as you changing yourself, though, you shouldn't have to change yourself to what you're attracted to, though.
Yeah,
that's not what the definition. That's not the.
No, I was talking about as far not the definition according to what you were saying. That's what I said.
That's not what I said.
Nah. She just was saying that. She just basically was saying what I said, that it doesn't matter. Who
cares? It doesn't matter. I'm saying I was attracted to both. So
yeah, that's what she was saying for her. Yeah.
And if you feel like you want to be with a man, you feel like you want to be with a man. You feel like you want to be a woman. You feel like the identity. What I'm saying is that you are attracted to who they are, and they want to be called he, she, or neither of the above, because they don't want to be identified as male or female. So I'm saying the definition fits what it's trying to explain as far as people's choices with their sexual identity or how they want to identify themselves.
I misunderstood you. My apology.
I'm not anything.
It happens. I think being a woman who used to classify as bisexual, pansexual. Who gives a damn about the word? Why do we have to classify transgender, bisexual? Be who you are. You're a human being. How about that? You're a human being who has a preference.
Facts.
Who gives a hell about definition? Because at the end of the day, it's man-made. I didn't hear God come down, strike me, and say, hey, this is a transgender. So it's a man-made word that we use in the definition to stereotype and things. I think it's bullshit, but let people be who they are and let them love. And you don't have to classify them as a name or whatever. They're a human being who prefers this over that. That's it.
I love that.
My opinion.
And I think our society likes to put definitions on things. That's the thing. Everything has a definition. Every word has a definition. Everything means something. So we got to make us mean something in order to make sense. So
that's why it shouldn't even be a definition for that. That's why it even shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't even try to classify as a transgender anything. You are what you are, even if you want to be something else, but you're still what you are when you were born. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like
I'm just
what's understood doesn't have to be explained. We all understand what that is. Why do we have a definition to explain it? I don't know.
Exactly. Facts.
Most definitely. I got you. Now, we have to get directly into the issue now, and that was Zaya Wade. Now, some people will call him Dwayne Wade's daughter. Some people call him his son. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, just for the sake of this show, as well as your future brand, you should refer to Zaya Wade as her, unless you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm posing the question.
Oh, I got you. I'm just saying,
I'm posing the question.
I got you.
Yeah. So I'm posing the question.
Let him work, Dean. Right. I got you, Dean. Let him work.
No, I was just trying. I'm just unless he doesn't give a, because certain people don't give a fuck, and if that is what it is, I'm not here to tell him what to do. I'm just saying, hey, I just want you to know what you're about to do, and if you still do it, hey, do what you got to do.
No,
America.
And I also want to add that you said in the beginning, like the issue, but it's really not an issue. It's just a topic, because a lot of people will bash that. They'll be like, "Oh, how is it an issue?" It's just a discussion topic. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The topic now that we're speaking about is Zaya Wade, and the issue that some people have.
Check my guy. Come on, guy.
He's 16 years old.
My bad.
Go ahead.
Just let him go. Yeah.
I'm just messing with y'all.
Exactly. 16 years old. So some people are saying that someone at the age of 16 should not have the ability to change something big, like change their sex. And I wanted to go around the room and ask you guys if you guys agree with people who would say that type of thing. A 16-year-old is too young to be making the decision about their sex, and also about how they're going to be perceived for the rest of their life.
Who's starting?
Who wants to start?
It doesn't matter.
Go
ahead, Natalie.
Go ahead.
You want to talk?
Right. I mean, I believe like everyone, like just like tattoos, just like piercings, just like any other thing. I feel like 18 is definitely like you're an adult. You're a young adult. You at least can be on your own, and at that point, you can make your own decisions. So I feel like anything after like you're legally of age, I feel like it shouldn't be an issue. But under the age, like you're not even like developed fully yet, like you're still growing, you're still learning about yourself. Like I'm still learning about myself. I'm 24. I'm a bisexual, as she said, pansexual woman. So it took me, like I had to really embrace and like figure out what I wanted. So I feel like it is too young. It's too young.
Go ahead, Christine.
I'm sorry, I had muted my mic because I didn't want to say nothing until it was time. Because I have a tendency of doing some dumb shit. So I feel as though, so definitely it's too young at 16 at any age. And like in this country, you are legally able to drink at 21. You are legally able to vote at 21. I know they say that we don't stop. We become independent at 18 to a certain degree, because if you go to a hospital, even if you're 18, you can still go to pediatric section of the hospital if you're 18. And legally at 8, you're considered a pediatric until you're 21, just so, because I worked in a hospital. So I would say, like, let's keep it along the legal voting age, the legal drinking age. Like, you can make those choices at 21, because I think making that choice too soon, because am I not mistaken, didn't somebody's child make the choice of changing and then wanted to change back? So I forgot whose child it was.
That was in the UK. Yep.
Yeah. So you may reconsider that decision. Like, I tried being with a woman twice. So, like, you just you are in this experimental stage with who you are, what you want, and you make the decision to take off your penis, and then, oh shit, I want my penis again because I like girls now, and I'm, so it's just I think 21 would make more sense. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Gotcha.
I think when it comes to the choice of knowing, like, if this person's trans, be trans. You can know at 13, you can know at 60, you can know at whenever. But I think the surgical procedure, you should definitely wait till you're 18, 21, because, like, piggyback off what Christina said, what happens if you decide at 18 you start liking girls and you can't do anything about it? So I think you should, I mean, me personally, having a child, a daughter, being a parent, I would say, listen, if you're transgender, I support it. I'm not knocking you. I just don't feel that you're developed enough to know what you want. And I think that you need to reconsider and just take your time. And if what you want at 21, and I'm just saying 21 for me and at 21, if this is what you really want after all these years, we'll do it. No questions asked. But at 16, 15, something like that, I just don't feel like your mind is developed to where you're making a decision based off how you feel now, not how logically you'll feel in the future. Because at that age, you differentiate what you want, what you don't want. And I don't want to make a drastic change on your body that you'll regret. And then I feel as a parent like I failed you.
Right. I'm glad you touched on the parent part, because that is something that he had the authority of, which was his father. You know what I'm saying? Having his father there, that's what made the authority okay, because now my dad is okay with my decision as well. So,
but can I say this? His mother wasn't okay.
No, I know that.
Correct.
I know, but
Right.
but at the time, his father was his legal guardian. At the time, his father is his legal guardian.
Right. He was his legal guardian, but she still had a say in the child's life, and she was against it as well.
Right. I know.
Right. Because she went to
nobody
court.
was listening to her. No one.
I don't think. But now, so I know that Zaya changed Zaya's name. And I know that that's changed, I believe, on Zaya's birth certificate as well. But I don't know if I don't know if she had anything medically done. No. You see what I'm saying? So in that case, he's hey, if he lets Zaya go through puberty, then afterwards, that's a decision that was made. Then hey, whatever the case may be. But I think that is proper. But as of right now, telling that man how to raise his family, I don't listen personally. Like, do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not hurting anybody, hurting kids or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? That's not that's just really all I really give a fuck about. How he raises his family. He's not hurting anybody. This is what Zaya said that Zaya is. Now everyone has something that they got to say, but they're not putting food in any of those people's fucking mouths or fucking putting food on, that child's fucking back. And it seems as if, in these kind of times that the kid does need some kind of backing. You want to show some kind of family support, stuff like that, and then, hey, fucking, how many people did you go to school with, fucking Tom girls who fucking, whatever the fuck, I don't fucking know, but people get it. Fuck.
But can I just say this real quick? It's not that we're not saying that he can't be who he is. It's just the fact that the mother was against it and went to court for it. It's the change part. It's making the change, the physical.
Oh, I get what you're saying in that regard.
Like, we don't keep. It's not that we're.
That's
like,
then that is I don't.
Right. I think we all agree upon, like, everybody has a choice, but it's the actual re-sexual assignments.
Why did she lose though?
Because she doesn't have custody of her child. She in the past did some stuff and like lost custody.
Then they paid it so and his high-powered lawyers fucking
right.
Exactly.
So, but she was still
Dwayne Wade. So
right.
Sleep.
Yeah.
I think I definitely agree with Christina though. Like,
would it have changed anything?
100%. Like, you have to be who you are, and as a parent, you should respect that. But as a parent with the older wisdom, you have to set a boundary. You can't just because I don't care how much money I have, I can't give you everything you want just because you want it then and there and now. As the
This is
parent, you
something
have
big.
to, yeah, like as the parent, you have to decide, like, okay, I know you want this, but and then be the parent. You're not supposed to be their friend and give them the world just because you have it to give. You have to guide them. You have to teach them. Even if they're pissed off at you or mad, like, I want the procedure, F you, close the door. Be mad at me because at the end of the day, I'm still telling you I'm not gonna do it. I'm just telling you to be sure and wait some time. And I think as a parent, this gentleman, whether or not how he feels against the mother, if he's doing it to say, I don't care, I'm gonna go against you because I can, then you're making a bad decision as a parent.
Right.
If you're doing it out of spite, and that's my opinion, if you're doing it out of spite to get back to the mother, you're wrong. If you're doing it because your kid wants it and you want him to feel good and you want him to look at you as the good guy, you're wrong. If you're doing it because you think in your heart that this is the best decision for your child, and you as a parent have come to that term that you believe in your heart of heart, then do what you have to do. But I just feel like as a parent myself, I just think every parent should, when it comes to that procedure, think it thoroughly out and understand that you're going to go through changes. Your mindset is not set in its ways. And it's not like you're not going to get the procedure. I just feel like give yourself some time to really meditate,
to process
think about
it.
this. And
See,
to process it.
I guess that's my question on it, right? So, like, that's what I'm saying. If, in my mind, at least, I can say this is my mind thinking. He can put, when I say he, I'm talking about, Dwayne Wade can put whatever he wants on paper. Whatever he wants. I don't give a fuck. Whatever he wants. Don't give a fuck. As long as nothing happens before the kid is an adult, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Can I say this too?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to say this too, because these surgeries, not only are you taking a risk of changing your life, right? Changing your sexual assignment. You're also
it's a bit of mutilation.
But that is, you're also taking the risk of the surgery, you not coming out of the surgery. Like, not every surgery is successful. I had gastric sleeve surgery to reduce my stomach because I was big, and it took me 2 years to consider it, go through the process, do the research, have the surgery. Kanye West's mother had the money, had the surgery, did what she wanted to do, and where's she at now? So surgeries are very risky procedures. On top of the reassignment, you're taking a risk of going under the knife and not coming back out. That I want to put that point out there too.
Yeah,
I definitely. I definitely think that they know that, and I think that by the time they get to that point, they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, they just like
no, not everybody really considers that part of the. They
really you would
consider.
That's kind of wild to me that you like. That's kind of really.
I don't think. Do you think half of these girls that do these BBLs and all this shit to their body think about
they
that?
Not think about the extra surgery,
about that.
Yeah, they think
how do you not think about it? Like, we about to go down there in this obscure, weird ass place, expect to come out and not get any.
Because you're thinking of the aftermath. You're thinking about how your body's going to look afterwards. You're not thinking about how it is now.
How they all drive home. How they all get home.
And even when the doctor's telling you all these things that could happen, you're like, okay. You're like, just yes. But
I'm part of the percent that it won't happen to. I'm a monster. I'm a beast. It can't happen to me.
But if you look at all these women now, they're in their 20s getting these BBLs, these surgeries. That that's the thing. And look at K. Michelle. She was in her 20s, got the surgery, and by her 40s, she was like, "What the hell did I do?" Right. So I just feel like the trend is the trend. Transgenders. Caitlyn Jenner coming out, talking about coming out a year's being a man, now a woman. So this is the thing.
You got women of the year.
So
What kind of misogynist? Like, first of all, can we talk about some shit for a second? Like,
it was 8 months.
How is it?
Hold on. We're going to spend about 5 minutes on that. Go ahead. We can spend 5 minutes on that. Go ahead.
I just got a question.
8 months.
So, like, yo, but like that, and then we supposedly hate white men in this society. But these motherfuckers dominate everything because before Caitlyn was Caitlyn, Caitlyn was Bruce. So I'm not wrong in saying that shit. You letting white men dominate this shit. She's no longer a white man. Now she's a white woman. But fucking, how did the whole woman suffer? Like, the whole woman suffered. Come on, son. Like,
And she
How
won
did I just do this?
And she won Sports Illustrated Woman of the Year. How disrespectful is that?
She didn't do nothing as a chick though, and we can't even refer to her as the.
Wait, hold on.
It wasn't even a year.
What did she run as a chick? What did she run as a chick? What did she run? What did she run to be the sports? What did she run?
She ran nothing, but he did. So.
Oh yes, she ran nothing, but he did. I like that, brother. You're right.
How long ago though?
He had a long career. Paul.
I just want to say, like, I don't think that being transgender is a trend. I wouldn't categorize that in there. I feel like transgender people have been around for many years. They just had to keep everything hidden, and you couldn't even say you're gay at a bar without getting like jumped or whatever. So I feel like I don't think it's a trend. Just it definitely was more public after him, but I don't believe it's just a trend that people just want to do. I feel like if you have that feeling in you that you don't feel comfortable in your own skin because of how you love and how you are, you know. So I just don't believe it's a trend. I feel like that was like not really a, sensitive.
I definitely agree.
I think
not being a trend.
Yeah,
because you can go back to Roman times. Like this, men on men, women on women has been like.
The Native Americans spoke about it too. Two spirits, something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, though. I think somebody on the internet said it wasn't true. Somebody said it was true. I don't fucking know. But once again,
okay.
I don't think it's a trend per se. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. But I understood what the point that was being made is that there are.
Right.
It could be a small minority, but no one wants that small minority to be their kid. You know what I mean? Especially when you are getting these stories. Like, for instance, I follow a page called Gays Against Groomers, right? They're on the Twitter machine, and it's fucking basically the coalition of the fucking rainbow, who's just basically like, hey, as an adult, do whatever you want, but as a kid, you got to fucking relax that shit hard, fast. Let them become adults with the shit. And I think when the whole trend thing was kind of said, I think it was said in that kind of vein. But I think you are correct though, because who the fuck is it to be like I'm a whole nother shit? You got to feel some kind of way. So definitely not invalidating those feelings. No, fuck that.
And I feel like the doctors make it very hard for people, even like as an adult, like they make it very hard for you to go through with the procedure. Like I think it's like almost like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like almost a year process of even allowing them to go through with it, because the doctors are like, listen, I can do it, but
yeah, I agree with you, because there was a show on TLC about a boy that became a girl. I don't know, I can't remember, but it was a whole transition. Like I think it was almost 2 years for this 15-year-old girl, boy at the time, to become a girl and get all the procedures done, and it was like 2 years span, and then it went off air.
Yeah.
But
you have to take
see
hormones.
the struggle. Yeah, but you see the struggles that they go through, and you see the family dynamic of who's on that side, who's not. And it's like, I commend them, because you have to be strong enough to, at a young age, also like take on the world, because you're changing.
That this is going to happen. And I think they're paying attention that this is what actually they're going to have to go through.
Yeah, and there's several surgeries to have reassignment.
That's a lot to go through.
There's several surgeries. There's several surgeries for reassignment when it comes to woman reassignment and male reassignment. And not only that, you have to have psychological. Like for my situation, it took me 6 months for them to remove part of my stomach. So I had to go to therapy. I had to sit down with psychiatrists. Like anything that you do to your body to alter it, you have to go through a process. And the reassignment surgery for women, you're talking about breasts, you're talking about hormones, you're talking about pills.
That a mental thing then? Is this a mental situation?
Because you do have to sit down with a psychiatrist as well.
It's identity.
That's part, because you're, and they have to, you have to have psychological clearance to have those kind of surgeries. Even the surgery I had on my stomach.
If you should do it, if you have to go through all of that, it shouldn't be allowed to happen.
I can't say it shouldn't. I can't say it shouldn't, but I just think that they want to make sure. I just think that with all of that, they want to make sure that
that's protocol. I feel like
decision. Yeah, I just think they want to make sure you're making the right decision mentally, because it takes a lot to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because at the same time too, like at a young age, you're allowing people to affect your decisions also. I could say that myself, being you know, growing up in a Roman Catholic home with two Caucasians who adopted me, pansexual, bisexual was off limits. Like you hear it all the time in the church. You'll be banned. You'll be this. So I
Damn to
kept quiet
hell.
for years, being damned to hell, pretty much. So I kept quiet for years because I didn't want to make my parents ashamed of me, or you know, go to those, I don't know, therapeutic things that people were sending their kids to, because it wasn't common. The LGBT community wasn't as common as it is now. So, you know, the fact that these kids are able to talk more about it rather than hide in the closet, you know, I think it's really healthy for them, you know, because I wish that the social media and everything was where it is now when I was growing up, because I would have
Fuck
been able
that.
to voice it
Oh,
more.
no.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Child, hold on now. No.
I don't.
Yeah, we don't need that.
I
We don't
want to
need
get
that. We
them
don't need that. We
arrested.
don't need
Not
that.
here.
No. I think
Well,
it's right
that's
where
a
it's
What?
at.
few. That's a few
I,
straight males, you know, saying no, no, no.
Yeah,
So
that's like
no,
all males
from a
saying that.
woman who
not
is
I got
a
a
not
part
whole
of
man in
everyone.
that other room. You should watch it now.
Yeah, not everybody straight said that now.
But I
You
agree
should
with
watch.
her
I got a
I'm just
whole
saying.
man
because
over there. You
Yeah,
should watch it now.
no,
I just haven't
I
said nothing about it.
I can
Well, I'm
definitely
not saying it like that. I'm
agree with
just
her.
saying that people committed suicide because they couldn't come out the closet. You
Right.
know, people
but
were
they could come
scared.
out the closet. They chose not to. Because
Because
No,
obviously
Nah, it
you
was
you
things
don't
are
different.
you
different.
can't
No,
say
We.
you
I
no.
can't
think
There's a
say
lot.
you
shit.
can't
Shit
say
is
that
shit
they
is shit is
could.
sweet nowadays, bro.
Yeah.
Shit was a
I
lot
would,
Yeah.
different
I would,
Come
Well,
on.
let me
10,
rephrase
15
that.
years
wait,
ago.
hold on. Can
They
I say
could
this?
have, but they would have went through a lot more, and they know it
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
coming
that's
out.
what I was
Look at
about to say.
the
They could have came
transgender.
out to someone. That's
People
all
are
I'm
still
saying. They could
getting
have came out to
killed.
someone.
Like
Is what I was trying to say.
Right, but
You know what I
back
mean? That's
when
all.
I was growing up in 1991, people were getting killed left and right
Yes.
just for coming out.
literally.
Nowadays, it's different. You still have to
Yeah.
be careful and mindful where you go, but there's a lot more protection for them. And that's what I'm getting to, is if I had the protection and the understanding to people what it is like it is today, I would have came out the closet a long time ago. I wouldn't have been suicidal. I wouldn't have self-harmed because I wasn't loving myself, because I couldn't love myself, because
Yeah.
I couldn't be who I wanted to be. That's what I'm saying. Not that
Yeah.
this like takes over, but the
I
things
got
that
you.
they have today
I
to
got
push them forward to the surface, it's very helpful to them in a way. And so like I just, like I said, I wish that, you know, the things that are happening now I could have went through, but I'm glad it's happening now than it not happening at all. Like people are starting to understand and accept us in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree.
Yeah, because there was a
All right.
time when you would be disowned and kicked out of your house and
Hmm.
like
Even
it would
killed.
fuck you
that
up.
is
Yeah, killed and your own by your own family.
Right. So nowadays it's more common. So people are like now are like, okay, I might not, kind of how piggyback off what gentleman across said. He has his principles, his morals and stand up, but he's still going to love his children. He doesn't have to condole it to the whole extent, but no matter what you choose, I'm going to love you. I might not want you to kiss a man on a man in front of me, but if you do that out there, that's on you. But I feel like a lot of parents now, including myself, my daughter says she's transgender, I'm going to love her for who she is, but I'm also going to educate her on the risk that she faces, she's going to face, if this is really what you want and this is what you're
Mhm.
going to choose, rather than
Right.
kick you out on the streets and let you fend for yourself. And
Mhm.
back in the day, you know, way back, and when they had the AIDS and stuff like that, like they were kicking them out their house and making them homeless.
Yeah.
So that's where I come from. That, you know, like I said, not being transgender but bisexual, pansexual, like I understand how hard it is to come out, but I also feel like they're getting more of a voice and it's helping them a lot. A lot.
All
That's
right.
it.
I most definitely agree. And I appreciate the fact that we can have this adult and, you know, grown conversation about the topic. So this is going to bring us to the same topic, but it's going to lead us into something else. So we spoke about trends, and some people believe that it's about a trend and that someone can watch a gay person or a transgender person on television and then somehow have it affect their children. So a lot of people are against representation of the transgender and also the gay community on television. Do you guys agree with that?
Can I
With that
start?
criticism? Do you believe that should be shown more? Or do you believe that?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, no.
I'm sorry.
Like, because I feel like I knew I liked girls at such a young age that straight couples on TV all day long didn't stop me from liking what I like, and I never got to see it. You might have saw maybe like, a gay male like as a character, as a role in a movie or a TV show, but you never really it was never embraced as two women. So I feel like watching straight people constantly didn't change the fact that like I can swing both ways and still be happy. So I don't really think that like just because you're watching something that it can just alter your mind to, I don't know.
I mean, you're always going to be inquisitive at a young age, like what's that? But at the end of the day, just because you're inquisitive, you are who you are. Whether you see it on TV or not, you're going to be who you're supposed to be. So I think that TV helps educate, but I don't think it like stirs you in the wrong direction either. Like, I just think it's more educating because we're so open about this topic now. It's like, why not have a TV show? And a lot of people in the community, they were angry. Like, they see straight people and they rebelled. And so now they don't have to feel that way, I think. So that's my intake on it. I think it's more for education purposes. And as a parent, if you don't like what you're seeing on TV, then freaking monitor your children.
Right. Simple. Sorry, this light keeps going.
I like what you said at the end because I was going to say exactly. I don't think we should be promoting it, but you should have control of what your child watch.
Right.
That's what would stop it in the general form. Just protect what your child is watching, but you should be teaching your child and not someone else. That's where it should actually come from the actual parents. The parents should be teaching the child what is what, and you should let the child know everything. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what your child is going to like or going to end up wanting. So you don't present it to them, but you're talking to them about what is what, as far as men, women,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying, and what they have, and you don't give them anything to walk with. You're just explaining them what they are and what they have, and what the opposite would from a boy or to a girl. But I don't.
But I think representation is important though. I think that because now you're starting to see it more diversity and of all types, and shows have characters of different orientations. So I think the representation is important, but it's also like you guys said, just if you don't want that impression on your kid, then monitor and but that's up to a certain extent because kids are exposed to everything, with social media and games nowadays and stuff like that. So some shit could be on Roblox, you never know, or fucking Minecraft or some shit. So you never know. You never know sometimes.
Right. But that's why the parent should have been the one who taught the child, even if the child did see it.
Yeah.
It should have still came from with the parent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? At least have the conversation.
And exactly, and that's like what you said. Like TV shouldn't teach you how to should be teaching your kids. Like you be teaching your kids. Yes, they use it to help. You want to watch educational shit, but in those situations, like you definitely have the conversation with your kid before even watching TV and stuff like that. But yeah,
and I think too, if a kid asks a question, just answer it honestly. Like depending on the age appropriate, don't answer it like they do that because but. If a child is going to be a child, they're going to want to know. They're going to ask questions. And I'd rather my kid know things young than as she's older and be like naive and people take advantage of her because she's she's uneducated on that. She becomes vulnerable. And that's why I said I really think that these shows benefit because if first, like every parent's different, but I personally feel like if my child sees it, to let her know, like, yes, there are men and women who do that. If that's what you want to do, I will love you. But that's a real thing.
Right.
Not like, you shouldn't be watching that crap, turn that off. But it's like, it makes them want to watch it more.
Go ahead,
I agree.
Can I say something?
Hold on. Wait, Christine. Let Dean go.
No. No. She's literally shaking. Nah, go ahead. Yeah, nah, go ahead.
Nah, because I watch people like I'm just trying to wait my turn patiently. But
she's always like that, Dean. She's always fidgety.
No, but I've seen people come in twice already, so I just wanted to try to get this in there real quick, because I feel like, we talk about pushing agendas, right? We talk about education. We talk about when I started learning sex education, it was in junior high school. They didn't teach anything about sex in elementary school. I think a healthy balance of things is great. I watched something the other day on Instagram where a kid got a book out of his library in school. It was talking about a sexual relationship between two boys. I think that's way too fucking young. Number two, they want to take out slavery out of the educational system. They want to erase our history, but they want to push the sexual agenda. And I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but what I'm saying is like, don't erase shit and then replace it and then push an agenda, as opposed to, because I found about sex really with my cousins. Like, you talk about kissing cousins, like, this is the shit, we're going to find out about sex at some point, right? But it was in junior high school when the educational system taught us about sex education. When we were growing our pubic hairs, when we were, like my mother started to say, smelling ourselves. Bitch, you smelling yourself now? Like, you know what I mean? This is when we were into that more. Like, I didn't really start having sex till I was in junior high school. Like, I was fucking at 15. So, like, I don't think it's necessary to push that agenda at a young age. I don't think it's necessary to saturate our television with it. Yes, a healthy dose here and there is fine, but it seems like every commercial, everything, the agenda is being pushed a lot. And I don't care what you do. I just think it needs to be done in a respectful way, and don't erase our history trying to push a sexual agenda on this country. That's my feeling.
I agree with you 100%.
I agree with that.
And here we motherfucking go. Because you know what, Christine, I'm going to piggyback back on that motherfucking shit. Because let me tell you something right here. We're going to break it down real simple. So when you look at actually what's on television, if it feels forced, it should not be there. You don't need to write certain things in if it doesn't naturally go with the flow. And then something else you touched upon, age-appropriate things. I agree with you 100%. Ain't nobody talk about sex, nothing like that, until we got to middle school. So the same thing with the themes of the shows. Now, don't get me wrong, no. I would be motherfucking remiss if I did not mention the shows that I fucking grew up watching, such as like Ren and Stimpy. You see that shit? That was a little weird. That shit shouldn't have been going on for kids our age. Even when you look at this, you know what I'm saying?
They was. He was fucking with the song.
They were gay as hell. We ain't had no idea, bro. No idea.
The graphics was
you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you look at SpongeBob, some of the shit that they had going
SpongeBob
on.
Was a lot.
You know what I mean? Even matter of fact, let's go ahead and if you look at motherfucking Johnny Bravo and shit, that's just to name a few,
Johnny
right?
Can I just throw Bert and Ernie in there real quick?
Come on, they still denying it, but we all know what it is.
Well, they came out. Y'all know that, right?
No, they did not. That was a lie. Sesame Street came out and said they did not. They come on, Sesame Street ain't crazy.
That's what everybody was saying.
But
Sesame Street was the worst, Joe. Like Count Dracula, he was on drugs. The Garbage Man, he was on drugs. They
had a motherfucker selling apes.
Everybody was on drugs.
Yeah, they were selling apes.
Sesame Street literally undercover said each drug, and they were on it.
So now when we're looking at
there was no
Cookie Monster was smoking all the time because all he wanted to do was munch.
That's
we all know that.
All he wanted to do was eat cookies. Right.
And Big Bird was pansexual. Y'all
gonna leave Big Bird alone.
No, everybody love Big Bird though.
Even though motherfucker did say Big Bird.
Everybody did love Big Bird though.
Nah, leave Big Bird alone.
Like, what's going on, y'all?
Big Bird just came in like whatever. You didn't know what Big Bird was.
Wait a minute, y'all missing Snuffleupagus. What about Snuffleupagus?
He was
just fucking depressed. He was
on that dope.
Like Eeyore.
He was on that dope.
Snuffleupagus is like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh and Sesame were like the same. Tigger was on drugs. Tigger's always hyper. He got ADHD. Pooh, I don't know. Rob was a bad.
But listen, hold on now. To bring all this in, right? To bring all this in, because now you're making a bit of my point. we've seen going on through time, they've always put themes in shit, and we notice how that then plays out in society. We would be remiss as a society not to realize what they're doing right in our motherfucking faces. So I completely and 100,000% agree with Christine. This shit should not be going down the way it is like this. Listen, we want to talk about shit at an age-appropriate shit, absolutely. But there is no fucking reason you need to have drag queens read the fucking goddamn preschoolers. No one's explained to me why. Why don't you bring in drag queens in the middle school? In the middle school. Bring them in middle school, right?
Yeah,
7th grade health class, bam, here we go. You get to the LGBTQ month, bam, here we go. You got all different kind of shit. Here we motherfucking go. And something else I would,
age
you know what I'm saying?
Age appropriate.
Age appropriate.
Age appropriate.
All right. Overload a kid too.
What happened?
Because
that can like overload a kid too. You know what I mean? Like,
what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here?
Definitely could.
You got nightclubs allowing them there in Florida on top of that. Ron DeSantis in your motherfucking Florida. Because Mr. Conservative, go eat a dick.
That's crazy, yo. That's crazy.
My bad, Randall. I just want to say I was with Christine. I'm with you.
You gotta hit them with the respectfully go eat a dick.
Nah, I want him to disrespectfully eat a dick and choke on it. I hate that motherfucker.
Can I tell y'all one thing real quick? Can I tell y'all one thing real quick? Go to Netflix and watch Explained. They had a young kid.
I did.
Did you see that? He was he was like 8 or 7 years old, already cross-dressing. And he was a drag queen. Youth, and they were tearing him up on the internet. He has since stopped cross-dressing, but he still is in that lifestyle and is the spokesperson for that community. So I'm just saying it is happening.
Yeah, we're using the younger generation to be the front of the front. And I don't necessarily think that's right, because they don't even know who they really are yet. They have an idea, but they don't know. And like I said, this 8-year-old's parents, shame on them, to be honest.
Exactly.
They condoned it.
That's my thing, man. That's the thing with me, man, is the parents. Like, no one's talking about the parents. Like, we're talking about the kid, we're talking about society, we'll talk about this, we'll talk about what the kid can't do, but we're not talking about the parents. You know what I mean?
But it's not the kid's fault.
Without saying they ain't shit.
It's not the kid's fault.
His mother felt it was okay. She had him in the parade in the city, prancing around with his outfit on, that she took him to the store and bought for him. And now he doesn't dress that way, but he was doing it up until a certain point.
Think of the psychological damage she caused her kid, parading him around like that, and then he got bullied on a massive scale that now it could potentially alter his whole personality. Like it's Los's point, we weren't saying it because I thought it went without said that these people were fucking scumbag pieces of shit, but I wanted to go on record to bury them, that these parents were doing it, like, and especially when you parade your kid like that.
But you know why they do it? They do it for the fame. They do it for the money. They do it for those reasons. They don't give a damn about their kid. I don't care what nobody says. I'll just take it to it. They do it for the fame. They do it for the money. They do it to be the first to ever do it. And they don't give a damn about their kid or how they psychologically feel. And that's the fucked up part.
He had a big platform. He had a big platform on the internet. He had a lot of followers. And she said she had to monitor the comments, to delete the comments so that he wouldn't see certain comments. But that's the thing. You get this big fan base, you get the sponsorship, you get all these people that come to you because now you're this kid that's doing what you're doing. And I'm not saying it's wrong, or I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but I'm just saying be mindful of what position you're putting your children in when you make a decision to do things like that.
Right.
Absolutely. Educate them, if anything.
I just don't listen. Once again, like
I just also think, like, the parent, it also shows at the end, like you guys said, paraded the child around, gets all this fame, glitz and all that stuff. All you use the kid basically, and then when it turns and it's now adversity, you tell the kid stop because you don't want to handle all of it. And it's like you're showing you don't even want to support the kids. You want to parade the kid around, and then you just like it's just I don't know. It's nasty work. I don't like
it's
parents.
Fucked. Like it's fucked from the beginning.
Yeah, it's real bad.
To the end.
We're gonna let Dale move it along, but Los, drop down and drop back in because you got a little glitch. All right, drop down and drop back in because it's like a little glitchy for you. All right, go ahead, Dale.
Oh no, most definitely. I think we touched up on an interesting topic when you guys mentioned an agenda, and that is what we always hear, an agenda. I believe the Comedy Cougar mentioned it, and specify more on what you meant by this agenda. Exactly what do you believe that the agenda? What do you believe is supposed to be achieved with this agenda? What's the goal of the agenda?
I don't know their goal because I don't fully know their agenda. I wish I knew what they were out to do. I don't know if they're trying to stop us from, because the races are mixing. Like I don't know if they just want to stop having children, period, by having these, these. I don't know. I really don't fully know. Maybe somebody else knows.
What you got, Dean?
I feel like they're trying to stop us from breeding. That's what I think they're trying to do.
Overpopulation. Overpopulation.
Yes.
Overpopulation. Yep. The World Health Organization, which everybody and their motherfucking mother has been putting their motherfucking goddamn money behind, which I've been telling you, if you've been listening to Black and the Berry, which you ought to be, that you shouldn't believe a damn thing they've been telling you since the founding of the shit. Let me tell you this, that motherfucking Bill Gates, you know what I mean? The one that we somehow believe who we should listen to behind medicine, who is fucking good with tech. And he already laid out the whole fucking game plan. Listen, how much listen, okay, let's talk about this. So Bill Gates, because we talk about
hold up.
The agenda is world population. That's what you want to get to. So you got to kill people, make them not breathe, all that shit.
I want to point out
hard economic crises. Go ahead.
No. We just went from having a very, very, very intelligent conversation about transsexuals and transgenders. Now we about to go into a conspiracy role about the government and all this other stuff. And I just think it's funny.
Is it? Well, doesn't it go? Well, it goes hand in hand with your question you just said.
Wait,
what's the agenda? That would be the agenda.
Let him talk, Dean.
Right. Can I even hear the question?
What was the agenda? The question was the agenda. He asked me what do I think the agenda was, and I said it was like they're trying to control the population. They're trying to control the races. They're trying to not let black. I think because white people are starting, and that was the thing that people were saying. Like the white race is starting to be the minority, and other races are starting to be the majority because.
Genetic survival, right?
Who did a test vaccine in Africa and India that ended up sterilizing millions of women? Bill Gates.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, and then who is huh? Look up his test vaccine. I don't know the name of it, but you can just look. Everything I say, you can fact check my shit. Google me. I'm like. Listen, I like this realm we're dabbling in. This is my fucking the only waters I happen to know. Everything else is like I'm just in here free flowing. But this shit, like, there is an absolute correlation, is what I'm saying. And people sound absolutely fucking crazy. But the same thing when you think about it, when how many people did COVID kill? Think about it. Think about how many people COVID killed, and think about where it came from. It was leaked from a lab. When I was saying it, I got our channel fucked.
Right.
And now what does it come to find out?
Wait up. How do you know it came from a lab?
The Wuhan lab where they were testing
out. Where they know it came from a lab though?
Because that's what it literally been reported.
What definitive information do you have to show that it came from a lab?
Go on your CNN. Go on your Fox. Go on your MSNBC. Go on your Newsweek. Go on anywhere. This is literal known information.
Well, I can honestly
it was in a level 2. It was in a level 2 bio facility.
Did you read the report?
Yeah.
Did you read the report that they just released that they were speaking about?
Sir. Yes, I did, sir.
And what did the report say? What did the report say? They said it was a possibility with low confidence. That's exactly what the report said. Go back and read the report.
Because they're always going to
I don't know about that one, because is that the same report? Is that the same report that then classified it in a level 2 bio facility, which we in America would have classified it as a level 3 bio facility? Is that the same report that we're reading? I just want to know.
They're always going to redirect the narrative.
There we go. And then we talk about what is the correlation.
That vaccine was not something that was created out of a cave. That was something that came
Came from a fucking bat.
fucking laboratory.
Come on, son.
And if you don't, and I worked in, I worked in a hospital, and I've seen them. When I tell you, I have seen them treat this shit, and it's like I've watched doctors, and when they say they are practicing medicine, motherfucker, they are practicing on us. They're
just
doing
came
all
out
these
2 days ago too,
diagnostic tests to try to figure out what's going on with us. And honestly speaking, they don't know what they're doing half of the time. When they keep sending you to test after test after test after test to try to figure out how to treat you, these new drugs, these this, these that, these this, that, I don't care what nobody said.
These get degrees.
That disease was not something that
and
just
this
came
is
from
why,
a bat out of the cave.
Right. And this is why I do all herb. I don't give a damn what they say. They be like, oh, take this. Nope. Because I tell y'all right now, you take one pill to cure you, and you got 1,000 other problems about to happen. No, thank you.
Why does America, because if what we're talking about, right, we're talking about population control, then like if you look at every country, everyone has their own issues. Like, so right now we're saying like sterilization, like, excuse me, not, it's like fertilization. That's a big issue across the board. And then that's linked to the plastics in our food, which a lot of times aren't even getting blocked out for somehow getting it. Like there's when you look at the whole thing and you ask, well, what is the agenda and why would the agenda be pushed? It's just a part of the agenda. They've been yelling population control since the fucking 70s. And now we're starting to see this shit come into play. I mean, I don't fucking know.
Can I say this? As a woman that struggled with conceiving because of certain decisions that I made, and when I went to get help with conceiving, my insurance would cover Viagra, but it would no longer cover the assistance that I needed as far as medications to stimulate ovulation, to do certain things in order for me to have a kid. They no longer cover that. So they would help
pay that shit out of
man
pocket each time.
Each time. And so in order for me to, like, they used to do it, but they stopped covering it. So I could no longer get certain pills to help with the ovulation procedure. I would have to get sliding scale in order to get help with the whole procedure before they would cover it for a woman. But for a man, y'all could get Viagra if y'all can't get a hard on all day long. So they're not trying to help women to conceive. Why? Because it's another added tax bracket. It's another added thing to the another added person to the insurance that they don't want to pay for anymore if she has a kid. So I just feel like they're definitely not helping women if they want to have kids anymore, if they can't afford to.
We live in a world where we could literally make homelessness go away like that. No one has to die of malnutrition the way that we produce calories, just like how cheap it is to produce calories. No one anywhere should have any of these issues, yet we have them worldwide so vastly. And then even in your top tier nations and countries, you have preventable diseases left and right.
You have to ask yourself why. Insurance. You're gonna have people not paying for health insurance.
Go to Canada.
But then also above all that, World Health Organization also too, they've been yelling world population since the 70s. And I think we're finally starting to see it into effect. So yes, it all is tomato, looking at 6 and a 9, it's all the same shit. It all goes.
I would definitely agree. Looking at things from a scientific standpoint, I do believe that, like you said, if governments did want to work together and get rid of things like starvation, it could most definitely happen. I believe that we have a lot of political lines that are being, that's being put in the ground, and a lot of times the wealth of the people or the best interests of the people are not being put forth. But I just want to make it.
And the people with the most money.
With the whole COVID thing, before we even go on, we can disagree on that, all right? But me personally, when it comes to stuff like that, I tend to go with the sciences. And I've read plenty of scientific reports. I have seen a couple where they have said that it could have come from a lab. However, it's not a definitive thing. It's not
because China does not. Because China is not going to. Because China is not going to let.
Hold on. Let him finish.
But for us to get up here and speak as if this is a definitive thing, we cannot say that. That's number one.
We can because China does not want to let the information out.
And world population and move on from that. But we cannot definitively say that's where it comes from.
Because China is always going to hide the information.
I gotta give you some pushback too, Drew. Because
China is not going to give us.
Come on, Christine.
China
come on, mama.
Going to give us
so that definitively.
No, not even. Also, 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago, they said it 2 days ago. It was literally on headline news 2 days ago that they was reporting it came from China and that it was from a lab. They literally said it 2 days ago, and I couldn't believe it came back. So I'm going to find it. No, Drew. I'm going to find it and I'm going to give it to you.
You can't be a headline reader.
I want to know. I want to know history. I want to know history.
I'm going to find it and I'm going to bring it to you. That's what I do.
And China will always lie to America. China will never tell the. China will never let you know that they fucked up. China will never let you know they fucked up. China will not let us into their country to see their labs to see what exactly happened. China will tell us what they want to tell us. If you think China is not trying to do biological warfare against us,
oh yeah, easily.
Boy, let me tell
everybody,
you.
Everybody, come on, mama, come on now.
Boy, let me tell you, the new war is not the new war. No, we're not. We're not. We're telling them. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
As if that's evidence that the person did it.
I'm not playing on anything. I'm playing on the fact that the wars have changed.
Tell me, all you're saying is this person's a liar.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? I have a cousin that is in the Navy. He is a Navy SEAL. They get pertinent and very. Let me tell you something. The shit that he tells me, and this is not propaganda. This is not shit. This is shit coming from somebody that works in the government that handles top secret information. And I'm telling you, the war has changed. It has changed from economic to biological. And if you don't believe that, what happened with COVID? Economical and biological.
Let's bring some receipts for next time. But let's move it along.
I just want to know what was.
Oh, go ahead, Los. Go ahead, Los. My bad.
The receipts is look at what happened in 2020. Economical and biological. We lived it. That's the receipt.
No, yeah, that's a fact too. It was clear as day. But I just want to know if you I wanted to know because
that means that China created COVID.
No, but
that's what that means.
It wasn't just China. I don't think it was just China. But you go ahead now.
I wanted to hear his theory because he said it's not from China. So what is your theory on it?
I don't have a theory. I believe it could have escaped from a lab. I'm not saying it's not from China. I'm saying it could have escaped from a lab. It could have came up in nature. Like they said, it could have came through from a meat market. We don't know. That's the thing.
You don't have a conclusion.
Okay.
He don't have a conclusion. That's cool. That's cool. I get that.
Well, just one thing I just want to just ask because I read a few reports and then this is something else. Just Google it, everything. But I believe it was India when it first came out. India had said that there was certain microscopic telescopes that there was only a few nations that had. I think it was the US, the UK, China, maybe 2 others that were able to really dig deep in there, right? But one of the pathogens I think that they saw was something like HIV related or something along those lines. When you broke down the actual fucking virus itself, there was something comparable to it, but then they said they don't have the telescope power to go deeper. They said other nations do. That was something I remember reading at one point in time about it, which was leading to the whole thing of it being actually man-made, especially when they were breaking down some of this shit doesn't make sense for it just to come from nature the way they said it did. That was the first thing that kind of tipped me off. Why would so many people in these other nations be saying that on their national television? That was the thing that caught me with it.
And can I say this? When Trump came into office, right? I worked during the Ebola crisis when Ebola was not able to come into this country to the degree that it was because that I forgot the name of the department that was in place. The department that was in place to prevent these things from happening that was set up. And then when Trump came into office, he disbanded that whole department. We did not have the forces that we needed to help this country stop that virus from coming in because of the way the cards were dealt. And I'm telling you, that shit was not a mistake. And it was convenient. It was not an accident.
Convenient how Trump had just slashed the hazardous buzzard.
Right
just slashed it. Just slashed it. I'm just saying, a lot of this coincidences with these motherfuckers.
So let me ask you guys.
They killed Kennedy. Come on.
The government that we have, y'all don't put anything past the government. Come on, son. They got. I was watching on television now.
They killed Kennedy.
Technology. Wait. We have technology now where we can control. We have microcomputers, processors that can be controlled smaller than this. They could put them on flies and control the minds of a fly. You telling me that they had to go over here and create a stupid ass virus that we could stop by wearing masks, by washing our face, put it up. The government, the smart ass government, that's the best way that they could do it. With all the technology and everything.
Can I say something?
We're
that's the best way they could
do it. Hold on, one at a time. Go ahead,
Los. I'm clearing the floor for my. Go ahead.
So what has the government not ever done to this country?
Exactly.
How
that's not proof that they did COVID-19.
So now we're saying he just said cocaine, Iran-Contra. How was that war funded?
I didn't say cocaine.
Ooh, war on drugs.
No,
baby.
he didn't. You didn't. He did.
War on drugs, baby.
Okay. All right.
That shit fun.
Wait up. Using your logic. I just read a book.
I just read a book
about the serial killer from East. Whoa. Using that logic. No, that is your logic. Using your logic. If I kill one person and they don't know somebody who got killed in East Meadow because I murdered before, that means I murdered that person too? That's your logic you're losing because the government lied to us once. That means they always done lie to us?
They always lie to us. As long as you black, don't you be black. You can't trust these niggas, mate. Not now one of them. Not now one.
Ronald Reagan was the devil.
They the devil.
Easy, Dean.
They started the war on drugs and gave us the drugs. Nancy Reagan will talk about there's a war on drugs, and they started the war on drugs.
So that means they started COVID.
Yes.
So that means they started COVID.
I mean, we were doing joint research with the shit. We were doing joint research with the shit.
We gotta move on.
I know it, since we could just say stuff and just say anything. Fuck it,
I'm not saying anything.
It's the truth. Look it out. Fauci name was on it.
I'm gonna start saying stuff with no evidence.
Do the research. No, I'm not saying do the research on how we were able to affect. No, I am. I worked in the healthcare system. I watch it happen. How they.
I work in transportation. I don't mean I know everything about transportation.
I didn't say you did, but I'm saying to the fact that I literally watched how we were able to affect it. I literally watched how we were able to effectively stop the Ebola virus from coming into this country because we had everything set up and everything in place when Obama was when Obama was in office. When Donald Trump came in, he disbanded all of the agencies that were set in place for this country to be prepared in order to fight these diseases from coming in, and he let it happen. And the information is out there. The documentaries are out there. It's out there. The research is out there.
The only thing I will argue with you, what you just said, because you said it so eloquently, is that I believe it was above Trump, because I do believe.
Of course it was. He was just a puppet.
Go ahead now. Because once again, to your point, listen, I forget, but there's been a few wars that was, and a few operations that was paid for by the war on drugs that we end up finding out. But that's why we can't end up doing the audit on the motherfucking Pentagon and shit like that. You start seeing where that money and shit flowing, like that shit just start coming up missing, bro. Like that shit is, they lie to us every day.
And I'm saying when he was in office, because they put him in office, that nigga was surprised when he became president. He was like, "Oh shit, I won."
Every day.
But anyway,
anti-establishment, but his kids go with it. But every day, I don't know.
All right, let's move it along. Go ahead.
But we never did talk about them bitches.
No. We're definitely getting into great topics. I definitely love the conversation. Y'all see, y'all got me going now, and the conversation is moving forward. Now, the Black community. Yes, sir. We mentioned plenty of things. We touched on healthcare with COVID-19. We also touched on the so-called quote-unquote gay agenda. We was talking about population control. We also spoke about parenting. So, me and DJ George, we spoke about this topic earlier. We was talking about Black culture. Now, do you guys feel that there is something called Black culture And if there is it something that we need to change? And whoever wants to start it off, you can start it off first.
Is there such a thing as Black culture? There's always been a thing as Black culture. It's Black culture has affected other cultures. Other cultures have wanted to emulate, copy, and even take ownership of our culture. They didn't like a lot of our culture, and that here we are 50 years later, and hip hop is still around, and everybody wants to be a part of it. I think our culture is a movement within itself, and there's no denying it. Like, I just think we touch everything. Not only do we touch entertainment, music, industry, like we've invented so many things in order to help this country. We basically fucking built this country. Like, without Black people, how
this
can
world ain't shit
function? That's why. Thank you. To say it like this world ain't shit without us. Like, I think we are the architects of this country. I know we are.
Absolutely. But just to pick, I'm sorry. Go ahead, George.
No. I'm just saying real talk. That's real truth. You know, we are the architects of this land. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, without us, it would not be us. So,
and we are the architects of this world. Like, look at how strong our genes are. Like,
yes. Go ahead.
But to also, but also to piggyback and just to answer, to finish it. When you said, does it need to change? The answer is absolutely, absolute yes, it does. We have to make some absolute changes within, like, policing ourselves with shit that we allow, that we don't allow. Also policing with shit that we allow out of the fucking community. There's certain shit don't need to be going everywhere. Everybody don't need to be coming to the cookout. Everybody don't need to be able to do, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't fucking, I've never been, listen, I hang out with a lot of Italians. A lot. I've never been like, yeah, you know the gabagool, they never done it to me. So why are we out here willy-nilly? And these are my peoples. So why are we all out willy-nilly? Because I never done it to them. Like, oh, you like, nah, because you're not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be gatekeeping in a lot of forms. You know what I mean? Within us. So yeah, we do need to absolutely change. I think it absolutely needs to start in the household. But then also too, we keep something that I don't think that we know what we have to do now. We all know what we have to do, but there still needs to be some kind of payment because we're missing generations of fucking men.
Yeah, that part.
Fault of someone else's that we won't get into.
But not payment. We shouldn't take any kind of payment. We need land. We do not need payment.
Nigga, listen, first of all, I think it should be an option for people. It should be an option for folks.
No, just make it available for us to purchase the land. That's all.
Don't let us purchase shit. Give us the land and give us the money too.
We cannot take handouts. No, that's one thing we have to understand.
It's not, but it's not a handout. Whatever
it's going to be a handout. We're going to feel like it's a handout.
That's first of all, that's aggressive. That's aggressive to speak for everybody. Just like, oh, don't give people money, don't do this. Like, listen, it is everybody. They fuck that.
You want to feel it's a handout? Go right ahead. No, the fucking backs that broke to build this country deserve a fucking
that no one has ever actually. There has been nothing done ever for them. Our country has given reparations to every single fucking race group that it has fucking offended, or even they sniffed and thought to fucking offend.
Quick question: how many generations you think though? Like, think about that. How many generations back? Really think about that.
It's not. You know what? It's not that far.
No, but if we're talking about 1600s, how far back is that? Is that 10, 20 generations?
No, not at all. Think about this for a second. So my great grandmother, who I knew, died at 103, right?
That is true. Yep.
Then her mother or father had to be a slave.
Right.
And then the one before them was as well.
Okay, so
that's the one before them was as well.
So that's still 1800s. That's still 1800s.
But I'm saying we're only 1, 2, 3, 4. We're only four generations, 5 generations
away. Yes.
Come on, son.
Facts. That is true.
My great grandmother never got no Yepa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, every other group has gotten something. There's a lot of land out there that don't want to give us this land. Like, because first of all, if you try to just give a mass amount of land to, like, it wouldn't happen. It's just honestly better to just cut the fucking check. We can call it bygones be bygones. Everybody, let's fucking go.
Nah, I want land. I need land.
Then go buy land with your fucking
bread.
I
need land because I can make money off of the land.
Then go use your money to buy land. Don't be trying to take me and fucking.
Yeah, but I'd rather just take more land. Just give me land. Don't give me money. Just give me land.
No, give me money and give me money and land. We supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. I want the money. I want the 40 acres. I want the 40 acres and the money for the mule, nigga. The money that the mule was gonna cost, I don't need the mule no more. Give me
I'm building condos on my land. What you talking about?
We can build the condos, but give me the 40 acres and the money that the mule costs now.
Not now, but right now.
Right now. Give me that mule money, because I don't need a mule no more.
I need that land.
No, we still want the 40 acres, but we want the money for the mule too. And times that by.
I need 1,000 acres. I need 1,000 acres.
And however many years slavery ended. Give me that shit.
Right.
Now, I most definitely agree. I've never really thought about how reparations should be paid. It's nothing I really, wrap my mind around and really think about. But I'm glad you brought that up, George, about slavery, because it's a big debate in the Black community on how much slavery did actually affect us and how it continues to affect us. And you mentioned something about land, right? And if we follow it back through times, man, we can see how it still affects us. On my YouTube page, I posted a video of how you have a brother like me. Let's say a brother like me who went to Hofstra University, professional. Let's say a white person makes the same amount of money as me, right? Yeah. We can go to Long Island housing, right? We could go to real estate agents. They'll steer me to certain neighborhoods, but yet instead and put us through more red tape than they would put a white person through in the same similar situation. They also looked at housing appraisals in Black communities. And what they were finding out is that houses, like comparable houses in both communities, were being, our houses were being sold for a lot less. So all of these institutions contribute to our situation that we face today. And I believe that it's like, kind of like, insensitive for people to look at our situation, because when we look at it, we have come far. Yeah. We have come far as a people. But to just look at it and say that we're not trying or that we're not doing anything, that's what I wanted to add to the situation.
Right. It's systemic. It's a systemic issue that no one wants to absolutely address, because no one talks about it. So before the Jim Crow laws became fucking really like beefed up, we were in Congress, we were in Senate, we had thriving communities, thriving businesses, we were perfectly fucking fine. And then even through segregation, we fucking grew bolder and stronger through all of that. That's the reason that the goddamn Montgomery boycott march was able to fucking hit the way it hit, was because originally down in Louisiana, they had to do something similar, because that's where the shit had originally really popped off. And that's how the whole name Martin Luther King came into existence. They were like, yo, we got a bad motherfucker. We can do the same shit down here. Here we go, bada boom, bada bam. Through all that, we're still fucking moving and grooving. We were still doing well. Once again, all things considered, systemically, there was still an issue, obviously, because, we're paying taxes, and then, these motherfucking firefighters who can only be fucking white wouldn't come over here to do our shit. We got to do our own shit. I got to pay taxes to this shit. That shit don't make no motherfucking sense. 2 + 2 = fucking 5 in that equation. But then when I go back to systemic shit, it goes, look at the war on drugs, is when the shit went down to fucking hell. And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but it is is right now for our generation that we can easily point to, because you have to ask yourself, what happened after the civil rights era? Like, how did we just fall off because we had powerhouses? How did we just fall like that? Holy shit. What happened? The fucking war on drugs. Because you know what Nixon, you know what the motherfucker under Nixon said? He said it was the war on gays, blacks, and hippies. That's what he said. That's what he wanted to go after, and that's who he got. So and then no one was talking about that. And then on top of that, then when you look at the actual policing that came behind that,
more police hit the streets.
Done for.
Right.
We're done for.
Right. More police on the streets.
Even if you have these fucking cops nowadays who behind the stop at first, you know, they were back there. They were like, hey, we had to stop everybody. Just these group of people who happen to have this. Well, how many times would you let a brother go who had a nickel bag of weed versus you would let the white boy go for a nickel bag of weed? You got to get into those fucking numbers as well when you really fucking look at it. And then we look at incarceration. Like, my degree's in criminology. Like, the system that we have is made for punishment, not for rehabilitation. You don't even look at a criminal the same when they come out, especially if you're a business owner. Come on, son. Like,
they don't even give them an opportunity.
Issue. Come on,
there
son.
There is no rehabilitation. There is
it's
none.
Nothing.
There's no such thing.
And they set you up. They set you up to go back in again. It's just like a revolving door. They're not putting you in a position to come out and make something of yourself, because now you have this stigma of being locked up. No one wants to hire you. No one trusts you.
Well, they took all the programs out where you used to be able to go into jail,
prisons. Come on, son.
Actually get degrees, and then come out and have a job actually waiting for you. That used to happen. But they took all that stuff. They took all the schools out of these prisons. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
America got sued by the private fucking the private jail systems or whatever you want to call them, because their shit wasn't getting filled up enough. If I'm lying, that motherfucker fine, but I got 2 feet on this motherfucker.
No, they did a documentary on it. Right. What you mean? They did a documentary on it.
I didn't even see that. I just read the shit. Like, I just
read the same.
Like, this obscure world is me. This is me. I live in these waters. Only waters I live in. I don't consume any other kind of content. That's what I'm saying. I just be just like, oh, look at this fucked up shit today. That's why I'm always angry. There's nothing to be happy about when you know.
and that's why I don't look at that shit, because I used to always be angry. That's why I don't do that no more.
That's fun.
I'm dead serious, yo. Like, I used to consume exactly the same content as you. I had to stop.
Go from anime into just darkness, you know. And then when football's on, we're just head foot in the NFL football, and then the darkness. If the Giants didn't win that
more darkness,
it's dark. It's dark.
Right. See, I was like that with science. So that's why when people bring up science and scientific studies like that, it's always going to hit a point with me, because I battled 10 years trying to prove to people that evolution is true. So I went into genetic studies, went into craniological studies, all types of craziness. So it was like, you know, you start learning how to read about science and stuff like that, and you see certain arguments being played over and over and over and over.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So that's so when people start talking about science, you know, it hit a mark with me, and I start going off on it. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal.
Right. No, I didn't take it personal. I thought it was great content. That was good shit.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Definitely was a great time with you people. My other people dropped out.
Yeah, they did. And we didn't even get to talk about the Chris Rock shit. The bitch shit.
I know.
Gotta come back to that.
We can talk about it right now. We can spend 10 minutes on it real quick.
Yeah, we can spend 10 minutes and then I gotta go, because I probably got 10 minutes worth of battery on this.
All right, I'll let you rock first. Go ahead. I'll let you rock first. Go ahead.
Let's go. Let's bring it home now.
Go ahead, Christine. I'll let you rock first, because I know you want to really talk about it.
So when we started talking, we were talking about, so I thought, because, you know, as a comedian, right? I'm a stand-up comedian, and a lot of people feel like it wasn't a great special comedically, some comedians, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're going to always have this debate of, you know, what he could have done better. I think he touched on a lot of topics that I've actually heard him talk about his daughter and certain things before, but I think everybody was waiting for that Jada and Will part.
Yep.
And they wanted him to spend more time on that. Like, he did a couple of jabs throughout, you know, oh, I don't want to offend another mad rapper and shit. But it just came to a head, and I think a lot of people were offended by the bitch shit. Like, there was a tirade of bitches at the end, and I personally enjoyed it, because I like to come from New York.
I did too.
I'm from New York. I love a good bitch. She's a bitch. He's a bitch. That bitch shit he did. Like, how come he didn't let that nigga spit in his face? How come he didn't slap him on the set? And I think when he went to talk about Emancipation, a lot of us agreed that Emancipation was really not a good movie. Like, I don't think.
I don't watch slave movies no more.
And then when he said, like, I watch Emancipation just to watch him get whooped. I was wondering if he was going to say that, because there was a conversation, because he's been working out this material for a while. So it's not like this is not material that people hadn't seen. I think what people hadn't seen was the latter part of it. When he started working out that emancipation joke and stuff like that, it started to get word up. But a lot of people that I know, because I was watching a few other comedians that saw him, because I couldn't afford to go see him or fucking Dave Chappelle.
No, it was a lot of comedians in the audience. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of comedians in the audience, but it was a lot of comedians that had seen him prior to while he was.
Yes, because he did a lot of this bit at Tamarine.
Right, he did a lot of
because he just put out. Go ahead.
So Tambourine was they reissued. That's an old special. They put it back out again, and he did talk about his daughter biting people. There were certain things he said, but there was a lot of new material in this stand up as well, because he talked about transgender. He talked about abortion. He talked about the Will and Jada thing. He touched on the privilege of being Black and rich. He talked about divorce. He touched a lot of subjects. But some people, some of my comedic friends felt like he wasn't all that fucking funny. Comedy subjective. I liked it.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I loved it. I felt the same way you felt. Like, seriously.
I felt it was purposeful because it was a week before the Oscars. I felt it was purposeful because he did it in Jada's hometown. It's like he was shitting on that bitch. Oh, I'm gonna bring this shit home. Like he was, and honestly, for what it did for comedy, he made $40 million on the first live stream show ever. And for me as a comedian, he set the benchmark for other comedians to now be able to do live stand-up special, because it's a risk to do a special, let alone to do a special live. And if you noticed, when he was doing his stand-up, he made a mistake, because sometimes comedians...
He made 2 to 3 mistakes. I watched every mistake he did.
But the mistake he made, he even checked his mistake.
Yes, he did. Facts.
And double back, because he instead of saying, because he meant
somebody said something. Somebody said something.
Right, but I'm talking about the end when he was talking about the Will and Jada part. He meant to say concussion.
Yes,
he
that's
said
what I'm
emancipation.
Right.
And then the second, one of the other mistakes he made, he wore all fucking white. Nigga had white, a white unpressed shirt. He had another white pants that didn't match, and then he had white Doc Martens zip ups. Like us in TV or anybody that does film knows that you don't wear all white. So a lot of us was surprised that he wore all white as well. So that's just some of what I can think of off the top right now without over monopolizing the conversation.
So I'm gonna just let you go, Dean, because I got a lot to say. But go ahead, Dean.
Oh yeah, no, I watched it. It was cool. Personally, I like once again, you said that comedy subjective, and I'm I do consume a lot of comedy. I know I made the bullshit comment about just anime and the other shit, but I do consume comedy, and I like a little bit more of theatrics. You know what I mean? That's just me personally. I like somebody kind of like doing a little bit more. Like me and Chris, I've always respected Chris, but he's never always made me double over laugh.
That's what I said.
You know what I'm saying? In his specials, but Chris Rock himself is funny. So like that's what. So you know what I mean? Like, so you can't say it's not funny. It is. Right. Chris Rock, he's funny. Right. It may just, you know what I mean?
Because he's animated.
Yeah. That's what it is. But
his personality. He's not a gut busting laugh, but he's an insightful. He makes you think.
Oh yeah, he thinks, and then had you chuckle, and then not for nothing. It's funny because he said, "Oh, you can't tell these jokes at work." He has a joke, and I'm just gonna say it here. Everybody should kind of pick up what I'm putting down. I just kind of want to do this. He's got that first joke just about at work and about certain shit and about fucking like people and shit. That shit, like he came out punch. That's why I guess like when he came out that hard, I felt as if he wasn't as wild as he could have been. Like I guess maybe that's why people may feel some current way, because it's like, I don't think that he was light on just Will and Jada. Personally, I think that whenever he decided to go in, I feel as if he was still respectful when this was the time we were looking for a little disrespect. Like he's always, and we're not telling him to be classless. I'm not saying that, but I felt as if there was like a lack of a bite. It was more of a bark. And I could be wrong. This could be how I perceived it, but it's Chris Rock, but it was like you were, at least what I was expecting. I was like, all right, if he's gonna
Could
talk
it
shit
be
about
him
everything,
protecting the brand? Could it be him protecting?
I don't think
the
it was
brand?
that. I think no, I don't know. No, he don't give a fuck. I think it was just what he wanted to do. You know what I mean? I don't think, but I'm just saying, I think maybe that could have just, you know what I mean? I was expecting like, you know, a lockjaw.
So
you know what I mean?
Some people were saying like that they thought he should have did more when it came to that subject. But there's so much backlash that he's getting behind a lot of what he did too. The backlash, the backlash. I'm just gonna say this real quick, and I know you want the backlash behind him talking about Michael and R. Kelly. The backlash of him calling Jada a bitch. He's like the backlash of Lululemon and the nigga shit, nigga. Like it's like comedians are always gonna get a backlash, regardless of what.
Which is why I wanted him to dig. Like it's like, hey, listen, since you don't dance, let's swim in it.
So that's why I think. That's why I think he held back, because he was trying to protect his brand. I loved it. I thought it was one of his best stand-ups. I didn't like the two before this. That was I'm not gonna front. But I like this one. This is the one that I actually really liked. I think, to me, from where he was at in the place and time of the divorce, kids are older, they're at the house, the will situation, I think he had to find a way to do some material that was so safe that he had to be able to protect the brand. That's just my opinion. That's why I think it was the way it was. But I still think it was funny, and I think that he actually hit it. I was chuckling. That was just me. I was chuckling. Okay, but that was
he
me.
Protect the brand. I don't see. I mean, I get your point.
From what I saw a protecting of the brand. It was a little raunchy, but it was just a little. I saw him protecting.
No, I think it was on brand for Chris.
I think it was on brand for Chris.
Yeah,
I think too. Oh shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
There was something. But that's what I mean. Y'all saying y'all wanted him to punch more. That's what I'm telling you. I think it was just him protecting the brand. If you're saying he should have hit more.
I'm saying this is what people wanted, but I think he was on brand to what he normally. I watched Tambourine too, because they reissued it again on Netflix.
Yes, and that's when I saw it too. Yes.
Yeah, so I think he's basically.
I didn't like Tambourine. That's what I'm saying. I didn't like Tambourine and the one before.
We all gonna watch regardless.
Yeah, because it's Chris. That's the funny part. Because it is Chris, we're gonna watch because it's Chris, and that's why I do watch his stand-ups, because I actually love the actual comedian, because I love this show. Everyone hates Chris. I think I watched that 6 times every episode. Like, so I love him as a comedian, but his stand-ups, like y'all said, they're not, But I think this one was one of his greatest. I'm not gonna front. I'm gonna shut up.
And what it did for comedy, the whole, like I said, the whole live stream, giving comedians, like we made history with comedy, doing something that has never been done, for a comedian to live stream a special. Like we tape specials and then we air them. Like this was, I was really impressed with the benchmark that he set. And now other comedians have the opportunity to follow suit because of something that he did, and I'm not mad at it. I think it was brilliant in every step of the way. The build up before him, the timing, the way he did it, how he did it, what he discussed. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a lot of promotion too.
Yeah, absolutely. I put a reminder on my Netflix.
Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Gabriel Iglesias, fucking Chris Rock. They have the trickle down effect they have had on fucking Netflix. And just with the shit that they're doing, like in the comedy scene, just going to Christine's point, like, because for instance, right? So you got Dave, who multi-year deal, which was a banger. Then you have fucking Kevin Hart decide that he's going to sell out in a fucking arena, right? Which then led, like, that gets other comedians' aspirations up there, right? Which then raises that tide of water, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because now like you got a higher act going to a higher plate, which then can lead like, go ahead now, Mom.
Let's not forget the ladies, because You have some more that just dropped her special. Her special was
I was just about to say
why
that.
does she not get the respect? Like my partner loves some more. I'm pretty sure
she does get the respect.
But she does get the respect, but she doesn't do the controversy. She's so she's not, she speaks her mind. Not to say that her topic or her subject matter isn't worthy, but I'm saying she stays out of the bullshit. Like Samore is the brainchild behind the Queens of Comedy. Like that was her baby, but Monique got the shine because Monique had the accolades. Monique had the show. Monique had the Oscar. Monique, and she had to play second to Monique, but it was her shit. So a lot of times and she still gave Monique a shout out during her stand up. Monique, I want Monique to come out now. She got that money from Netflix. I want her to come out and tell fucking jokes. That's what I'm waiting for Monique to really be the comedian that she has always been and come out and tell jokes. Like that's what I want to see out of her special.
Yeah, she's official. I can't front. Like,
but see, that's my I guess that's my thing when I talk about some more. It's like me and my partner, like I mentioned earlier, me and my partner, we had went down to fucking April Fool's like comedy fest like a few years ago, right? Like we went down because Lavelle Crawford and some more. We ended up fucking leaving as Carlos Miller fans as well. We definitely left. They had a whole bunch of people. Ricky
that's
Smiley.
My guy.
They had Ricky Smiley, Chico Bean. They had DC Young Fly. They had maybe a few other people or whatever the case may be. But some more live is a completely different monster. But that's my question. Is like I don't understand why she's not like, for instance. Her ass should be coming to Albany so we can see her. You see what I'm saying? Like, let it be at the club or the theater.
When you don't deal with the mess.
There's enough niggas around here. I don't want to hear that shit. I live, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's I live in, you know what I'm saying? There's black people all around.
You're right. But go ahead.
And her comedy transcends, her comedy transcends fucking race as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're not, like,
I got you.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's bullshit.
Go ahead, Del.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. Both of them sisters. I remember coming up watching Def Comedy Jam, you know, back in the 90s and all of that. Simone, she was always one of my favorite artists. Also got a lot of respect for Monique and anybody pushing that game closer, you know, further up. I agree with it, man. You know, I've been a comedy fan since the 80s, Long Island. You know what it is. We've been following Eddie Murphy. He was our favorite comedian. He spoke for the community, you know. So definitely they pushing it further. I agree with it.
Some more
facts. Big facts. That was my guy.
The way she be walking in the heel.
But yeah, man, we're gonna wrap this up because we know everybody got things they gotta do, and we only wanted to really rock for an hour. But it's good to know that we're gonna be able to rock a little longer. So next time we might push it to 2. You know what I'm saying? Let everybody know. You know what I mean? And we'll try to keep it to another day. You know what I'm saying? On the Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But we'll work that out. I appreciate everybody. Go ahead and shout your page out, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? One at a time. Go ahead, Dean.
I am Dean, baby. Catch me at Berry Gang Dean on the Instagram machine. Catch Black of the Berries page at the Berry Gang 1 on the Instagram machine, Twitter machine, all that. And check out my co-host who was on here earlier. He checked out. Check him at Berry Gang Los on the Twitter machine. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate your time.
Go ahead, young lady.
So, of course, y'all know who I am. I'm Christine the Comedy Cougar. You can follow me on Instagram at Christine the Comedy Cougar. Also, you can pull up on me at Bakery Harlem HNY. I am here all the time. I got a comedy show coming up March 19th. It's going to be monthly at Two Sisters and Four Brothers in Harlem. I'm working on something else. And quiet is kept. We're about to have a reality show. So stay tuned because I will be part of a dope ass reality show. When I tell you I am going to be the writer, a principal character, and it's all going down somewhere in Harlem. So y'all gonna need to follow me to figure out where it's at. If you can't already try to figure out where it's gonna be coming from, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be a whole vibe. We about to start a movement here in Harlem. I need y'all to follow me. Follow me. And I'm at TMZ, nigga. I'm viral. I'm always dropping shit.
Stun on them.
I'm hood famous.
Go ahead, Dale. Let them know.
Yes, sir. All right, this is Dale Drew. I'm sure you guys know already. I like to thank Dean. I also like to thank Christine, and also my boy George for allowing me the platform to come up here and speak. I most definitely appreciate it. I started a new YouTube channel. I killed that old guy that you guys knew, Be Live. He's gone. He's done. He's up out of here. The new guy is Dale Drew. All right, and I have a new page on YouTube that I am pushing, and that is B. It's type 3CB. And it's speaking about my diabetic journey, speaking of how I got diabetes. We're speaking about things about alcoholism, all that stuff, eating right, exercising, and all of that. All right. So log on to that on YouTube. That's what we pushing from now on. Be Live is dead. Don't ever refer to me as Be Live again.
I like that. I like that. I appreciate everybody coming in. Christina, Dean, Drew, and everybody that was here earlier. Los.
Check out the Black and Bear YouTube.
Natalie,
my bad. Check us out on YouTube. My bad. Check us out on YouTube.
Bella, for show.
Any
I
of your
am
streaming
DJ
needs.
Cuz. This is Stoner Bake Talk Lounge. This has been Out of Order Hour. This will be a new segment coming on every 2 weeks. We will be here talking that talk. And I appreciate everybody. Love is love.
Can I say one more thing? Pull up to Bakery this weekend. Everything is on sale. I got the pop-up. We got the merchandise. Bakery Harlem HNY on Amsterdam. And tap in. Check the link in my bio on Instagram. Sorry.
So go check it out. Go check it out. You heard it. All right. I'm saying peace to the world. Peace to the panel. Love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Peace and harmony.
Peace, love, and chicken.